You know that little button on your radio, the one you've probably hit by accident 100 times? Well, what if I told you that button is actually a secret weapon? Seriously, it's a key to smarter, safer, and just better communication. Today, we're going to master reverse mode.
So, think about this for a second. You're chatting with someone on your local repeater. Their signal is perfect, like crystal clear. But are they sitting in their car right around the corner, or are they clear on the other side of the county? The honest truth, you have absolutely no way of knowing, because the repeater is doing all the heavy lifting.
And that right there is the big puzzle when we use repeaters. I mean, they're fantastic, right? They make everyone sound like they're right next door. But that great feature also creates a total blind spot. It completely hides the real distance between you and the other person, which can be just inefficient or, in some cases, a real problem.
But the solution has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. It's usually the star key, the one that also says scan, but we're not using it for scanning today. With just a quick tap, that little button unlocks an incredibly powerful diagnostic tool, reverse mode.
Okay, before we actually push that button, let's do a super quick refresher on how a repeater works. Just think of it like a big relay station on a hill. You talk to it on one frequency, that's the input. The repeater hears you, and then it blasts your signal back out way more powerfully on a totally different frequency, the output. And pretty much everyone else is listening to that big, strong output signal. And this is where the magic of reverse mode happens. See, normally, you're listening to that boosted signal from the repeater's output. But the second you hit reverse, your radio does this cool little frequency swap. All of a sudden, you are listening directly to the actual signal coming from your friend's radio, before the repeater gets its hands on it. It's like you're peeking behind the curtain to hear what's really going on.
So you might be thinking, okay, cool trick, but how does peeking behind the curtain actually help me out in the real world? Well, let's walk through 3 scenarios where this simple feature goes from being just a neat party trick to an absolute lifesaver. First up is the one you'll probably use the most, the simple "Are you close?" check. You're talking to a buddy, they sound great through the repeater, but you have no earthly idea if you even need the repeater to talk to them.
So here's the move. While they're talking, just give that star button a quick tap. If you can still hear their voice loud and clear, boom, you know they're close enough to switch over to a direct radio-to-radio simplex channel. And that frees up the repeater for folks who really need that long-range help. But if all you get is static, well, that tells you instantly that the repeater is absolutely essential for your chat. It's immediate intelligence.
Okay, let's get a bit more serious. Let's imagine you're in an emergency situation and the local repeater just dies. The power's out, it got hit by lightning, whatever. It's totally silent.
Now, in this case, calling out on the repeater frequency is useless, right? It's just going into the void. But other people near you might be trying to do the same thing. By hitting reverse, you stop trying to hear the dead repeater, and instead, you start listening for the weak, direct transmissions of anyone else in your immediate area. You can completely bypass the broken repeater and maybe, just maybe, establish a local direct line of communication. It's a total game changer when things go wrong.
And for our third scenario, let's solve one of the most common frustrations in radio. You're hearing someone, but their signal is just full of static, it's choppy, you know the sound. Is the problem on their end, your end, or is it something else? This is where you get to be a signal detective. The transmission is scratchy, so you tap that reverse button. If all of a sudden their signal is perfectly clear, well, you've just solved the mystery. The problem isn't their radio and it isn't yours. The problem is their signal getting to the repeater. So you now know that there's some kind of interference happening up there near the repeater tower itself. Okay, so you've seen the why, so let's get right to the how. And trust me, this is incredibly simple to do on most common radios, like a Baofeng UV82, and the process is going to be pretty similar for a lot of other models too.
So first things first, tune to a repeater channel you've got programmed in. Then, while someone is talking, give that star or scan button a quick, short press. Don't hold it down, just a tap. You should see a little R for reverse pop up on your screen, and you'll see the frequency change. That's it. You're now listening to the input. When you're done sleuthing, just tap the button again and you'll switch right back to normal. See? Easy. Now, hold on. Before you run off and start playing with this, there is one absolutely 100% critical rule you have to know to use this feature correctly and, responsibly. Please burn this into your brain. Reverse mode is a listening tool. It's a diagnostic tool. If you push that transmit button while you're in reverse, you will be broadcasting on the repeater's output frequency. That means you'll be talking directly over the repeater's own powerful signal, causing massive interference for everybody listening.
So unless you're in a dire emergency and have a very specific reason, the rule is simple. Listen, learn, and then always switch back to normal before you even think about transmitting.
So there you have it. The secret of the little star button is officially out. It's a proximity checker, it's an emergency bypass tool, and it's a signal detective, all rolled into one. The only question left is, which one of these powerful new moves are you going to try out on the air first?